If you're like me, you are tired of trying to find jeans that fit right no matter your build and still look good. Introducing the newest sponsor of the Double Doing podcast, Sweat Tailor, a premium menswear brand that is defining a new kind of casual. I started wearing Sweat Tailor and I am blown away by how comfortable and affordable the clothes are. And of course, they look great. My favorite is the all-in pants. It's a 5-pocket pant that feels like sweats but look way better. Thoughtfully tailored and unbelievably stretchy. From jackets and pants to joggers and hoodies, Sweat Tailor's designs are made to seamlessly fit into your life, moving from runway to office, office to drinks, and drinks to wherever the night takes you. Specializing in casual wear for men, pieces are designed with comfort and versatility in mind for your everyday. Use promo code BDEEGST. That is BDEEGST for 25% off. That again is BDEEGST for 25% off your order at sweattailor.com. And welcome back to another episode of Double Doing Podcast. My name is Brenden D. Thanks so much for tuning in today. We're talking strictly Philadelphia Eagles. We're going to break down the Eagles' 25-11 victory over the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They improved to 3-0. No one else to do with than my man, my friend, looking good in yellow today. I'm liking the shirt pick. Thomas, how we doing?
Yellow and green at the bottom here. Yeah,
nice.
Straight out of mountain biking. So yeah, that's the gear you got going there for it.
not much nice weather for you able to do that soon. We're getting close to winter.
Yeah, it does make sense here. It's around 19 degrees Celsius and sun is shining. It does not make sense.
Beautiful. I love it. I got baseball finals tonight, so summer's almost that's kind of my ending to my summer. Is my beer league baseball game. But we got more important things to talk about the beer league baseball and mountain biking, Thomas. Eagles.
Yeah.
Eagles are 3-0, man. I think we should start with the defense in this game. Because I was blown away about how good and how fast and how together they were playing. Let me just kind of ask you a generic question. What did you make of the defensive performance last night?
I mean, it was fantastic. Right? You had that first drive where Baker kind of missed a wide open Tompkins, and that could have been a long touchdown. Tompkins had Joe beat on a post route. Baker misses him. He was under some pressure, and really from that point on, it just kind of went on and on and on. That was the theme of the game was Baker Mayfield under pressure, and I think Eagles defense played physical football. Whenever Bucks had a catch, it was contested. They didn't get anything that like easily given to them. The first down they got of the game was 5-yard out, easy completion, and then everything from that point on was just contested. To the point where whenever Bucks made a play, you just go, nice play. I mean,
the Mike Evans catch was like the one-handed grab was their biggest play of the game, and that was an incredible play. Like, there's nothing you can do about it.
Exactly. That was really good. And also, Otten had Kate Otten had a couple catches over the middle with Reed Blankenship in as tight coverage as you could possibly have, and catches like that, you just go. I mean, you got to tip your hat. That's a good catch. Nothing else really to say about it. But yeah, they had that one late, their last drive of the game for a touchdown that was 75 yards. Other than that, they had around 7 drives that total 99 yards.
Yep, 4 punts involved in there.
Yeah, 4 punts and well, it was a safety. It was a fumble in there, an interception in there. So yeah.
So total Eagles defense, they only allowed 12 first downs, and a good chunk of those first downs came, like you said, on that one drive towards the end of the game that kind of skewed these stats anyways. 174 total yards allowed. The 174 total yards allowed was the fewest in a regular season game for the Eagles since Nick Sirianni has taken over as a head coach in 2021. This game goes over all of the Jonathan Gannon games over the last 2 years. So Sean Desai already has the fewest yards allowed since Sirianni has taken over. They forced 2 turnovers, and they only allowed 21 minutes of possession as well with 2 sacks. The Eagles defensive line, man, that was a hell of a performance. I know the 2 sacks, they only had 2 sacks on Baker Mayfield, but they were getting all over him all game. They were controlling the line of scrimmage, and they were controlling the line of scrimmage, especially in the run game, Thomas. the Eagles' run defense was spectacular last night. Only allowed 41 rushing yards. They've now only allowed 48.3 rushing yards per game in the NFL through 3 weeks. That is first in the NFL. They are first in rush EPA allowed per play in the NFL. Jordan Davis just coming out of nowhere and completely revolutionizing the front of the Eagles defensive line, which was a weakness for this team last year. And now it is arguably their biggest strength on defense.
Yeah, let's just keep in mind that this is a Bucks team that was around 10th in EPA per play on offense, and this around the same in offensive success rate, and going against an Eagles team that completely smothered them and dropped them down to about 16 in EPA per play after this game. So, yeah, Jordan Davis, you hit the nail on the head there. I mean, the way he is leading, he's quarterbacking the front of this defense in a way that either he's single blocked and he makes the tackle, or he's double teamed and does not get moved anywhere, which allows everyone else to just gather around. He crashes the line of scrimmage and they make tackles for no gain or minimal gain. So really opposing teams, they can't really run on him. I mean, on the touchdown drive the Buccaneers had, they were down to the Eagles at the 1 yard line, and they stopped them 2 times down there. So yeah, it's Mike Evans. Kudos to him. He deserved the touchdown on that drive, I think, based on his catch there, and he totally beat Darius Slay inside. But yeah, Bucks couldn't do anything against the Eagles front here.
No, it was pure dominance, and like I just want to reiterate, the box score, like it was 99 yards. I think it was 94 yards at like one point, and that was basically the game. Like you take away that last drive, they had like under 100 total yards allowed. I thought Reed Blankenship played really well. Hassan Reddick had a couple pressures. I know he hasn't been to the level that we were accustomed to from last year, but I thought he played okay rushing the passer. I just thought the entire defense as a whole was really impressive. Like you had Zach Cunningham on the first drive make a bunch of plays. You had Nicholas Morrow with the safety. You had Reed Blankenship with the interception. Josh Jobe did pretty well in coverage. You only allowed 48 yards against him. And that was probably, if you were in the Buccaneers offensive meeting rooms throughout the week, you're going, that's the guy we're going to target. That's the guy we're going to force the ball to. And Josh Jobe, I thought, held up pretty nicely. I thought James Bradbury played okay in the slot. He only had like one, I think it was Chris Godwin on like kind of an in-breaking route from the slot. And I think Bradbury
and James Bradbury didn't look right. He didn't look right prior to that. I was in a group text prior to that. I mean, they zoomed in on Bradbury. He was lying down for a while. He didn't know where to line up after that. He looked completely lost on the play. He gave up an inside move for Chris Godwin. And then a little bit later in the game, the same thing occurred where a couple of us were thinking about that maybe he wasn't completely right. I mean, he was out with a concussion last week, and of course, we hope that nothing is going to flare up after this game here. But yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, he did look a little stiff and kind of looked a little disjointed on that in-breaking route from Godwin.
Yeah, but he just looked confused prior to the entire play happening, and kind of just let the play happen without really doing too much on it. But it could have been an coincidence.
Mm-hmm. Sidney Brown makes the big play at the end zone as well. Finally, we get to see Sidney Brown on this Eagles defense. It sounds like his injury is going to be okay. Josh Tolentino reported today that the hamstring injury isn't serious, and Justin Evans also left with a neck injury. I think that's the big one to watch right now because it sounds like Landon Dickerson's going to be all right, which we'll get to the offense in a bit. But the Eagles' injuries, it sounds like they kind of came out of this game unscathed, just hoping that Justin Evans is all right. But yeah, just back to the original point, like it felt like the whole unit was playing together, and it felt like they were on time together. It felt like they were in sync together. It just felt like a team effort, and it wasn't just one guy dominating, one guy kind of stealing the show. Everyone was getting involved, and it was really cool to see. It was a really well coached game by Sean Desai, really well called game by Sean Desai. This Bucks offense has weapons across the board. Like Baker was really good on third down heading into this game. I think he was like 20. I think he was 18 to 23. I think was the total on third down for Baker heading into this game, and then they were 5 for 10 total on third down in this game. They did a really good job.
He was the second highest rated quarterback in per PFF leading up to that game. I mean, he didn't have a turnover until this game.
Was that the first game the Eagles have played against Baker Mayfield? I was trying to remember. I didn't look back on the stats, but I don't remember the Baker Mayfield experience for the Eagles. I think that was the first time. Yeah.
Yeah, but he's been around, but yeah, they might not have crossed roads before.
Yeah, I can't remember the Eagles playing him before. But hey, I as an Eagles fan, it was fun to watch Baker Mayfield on the other side because it wasn't a pretty ball game for the Bucs offense. The Bucs rushing attack, I have no idea why they continued to run the football. Like it wasn't working. They just kept doing it.
And the commentators continued to praise them for trying. It's like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
I didn't mind.
Yeah, for sure. Like I think we talked about it on the pregame show where like every time Rachaad White touches the ball, it's a victory for the Eagles.
Yeah.
And it turned out to be true. Like the Bucs just continued to pound them and it just was not working. Trying to think of anything else on the there's got to be one more thing on the defense, Thomas. Jalen Carter, man. My God.
It's absurd.
He is literally the best player on the football team through 3 weeks. This team went to the Super Bowl last year, and a rookie defensive tackle is the best player on the team right now.
Yeah, he's the guy who is eating up the double teams and then allowing everybody else to get through. And he is making plays through the double teams while doing so. It's just absurd, man.
15 pressures through 2 weeks at a second out of all defensive tackles, only behind Javon Hargrave, who he replaced last year on this team. He has 1.5 sacks, 2 forced fumbles, 2 quarterback hits, 2 TFLs. He is PFF's highest graded defensive tackle. This kid's playing at it like a legit all-pro level right now. Like all-pro. Yep. Like he is on pace to be the best defensive tackle in the NFL in his rookie season. And that's so unprecedented from like a standpoint looking at other like rookie defensive tackles. It doesn't happen very often. Nope. I was trying to
never happens.
Like rookie defensive tackles always take a long time to develop in this.
So with Jordan Davis as well.
Exactly, yeah, and just historically, rookie defensive tackles like some of the star ones. So Dexter Lawrence, for instance, 2.5 sacks in 16 games as rookie year, 2.5 for Quentin Williams, 2 for Chris Jones, 2 for Jeffrey Simmons, 2 for Javon Hargrave, 1 for Cam Hayward, and Jalen Carter already has 1.5 sacks through 3 games. Dominican Sue, I think, is the only defensive tackle in NFL history, a rookie defensive tackle in NFL history to record 10+ sacks in a rookie season. And Jalen Carter's on pace for that. That is, it's honestly hard to wrap your head around how good he's been through 2 weeks. I did not expect this to happen. We were both high on Jalen Carter heading into this year, but this is different. This is different.
Yeah, this is exactly what we saw in college tape. You never know how these guys are going to be transitioning, but he's doing the exact same thing that he did in college. It's looking as easy as it did for him in college.
He has more pressures than Aaron Donald right now, and on 70 plus less snaps than Aaron Donald.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's the thing. He's not even starting.
No, he's doing under 50% of the snaps. He's posting these numbers. Yeah. Like you just give him defensive rookie of the year now. Like there's no point of even waiting.
Yeah, it's really absurd. Just how he's smothering that competition. I think who would be close to him at this point here? I think Brian Branch would probably
Christian Gonzalez, Brian Branch, yeah.
Yeah, Christian Gonzalez, Brian Branch. Those are two pretty good candidates there for it. I guess Bijan Robinson would also be in there for it. I guess that's offensive. Do they give one collective, like just one rookie of the year? Or is it only offensive and defensive?
It's only offensive and defensive. Okay. I'm gonna pull up the odds right now, actually. So if we look at FanDuel's odds right now, 1 sec, my hat is falling off my head. All right, there we go. Jalen Carter is plus 110 to win defensive rookie of the year, which is a heavy favorite. Like if you're plus 110 to win an award at this point, you know you're dominating. Will Anderson's plus 550 next, and Christian Gonzalez plus 900. Like FanDuel's basically saying Jalen Carter's winning, and they're collecting money.
In terms of pressures, I think the next gen stats had Javon Hargrave with one more than Carter, right?
Next gen stats, I think, had Javon Hargrave at 18 pressures and Jalen Carter 15. Right. I think PFF has them tied.
No, they have Carter at 15, Donald at 14, then Lawrence, Allen, and Hargrave at 13.
Yeah, pressure stats are always skewed in different, depending on
especially the hurry part of it.
Yeah. So I'm kind of
Either
running
way,
that.
it's absurd that
Yeah.
the fact that Carter is doing this, playing half the snaps to some of these guys.
It's remarkable, man. He's been so damn good, and I can't reiterate like how he's literally the best player on the team. Like I messaged you this morning. I was trying to think like, is there someone else I'm missing? You could maybe say DeAndre Swift
I think Jordan
3
Davis is probably the one you would be giving a run for the money just because of
Yeah.
how he is shutting down defenses, shutting down offenses on first and second down, and then Jalen Carter can come in there and do his thing on obvious pass situations because Jordan Davis has done all the dirty work in eating up the running game.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think there's something to be said for the fact that the Eagles have the best EPA per play run defense in the league, and it's strictly and solely due to Jordan Davis.
And opinion. it's like by a high margin too. It's like by 0.6 of a point, like there are 0.06 of a point. Like they are really good in the EPA per rush statistic on defense. And like the Cleveland Browns have been awesome too on defense, and they're ahead of them. So and like this is a weakness last year, right? Like they had to sign Linval Joseph and Ndamukong Suh off the scrap heap after a bad run defense performance against Washington on that Monday night game. So to be able to kind of flip your whole weakness into a strength from 2 draft picks back-to-back years is exactly how it's supposed to be done in the NFL.
Yeah, 100%.
Anything else on the defensive side of the ball? Sean Desai deserves a ton of credit. I thought he was really good. I think we already talked about him. I'm really impressed with him so far, Thomas. I think the defense look united. They look like they're playing as a team. And I already like him better than Jonathan Gannon after 3 weeks.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Nothing bad about Jonathan Gannon this week, though. He deserves one week off.
Yeah, the fighting Gannon's put up a good match against the Cowboys, man. That was impressive. Gotta give him love. Sorry?
The fighting bus rides.
Yeah, the fighting bus rides.
The fighting bellies. I don't know.
Pew pew pew. It's funny to see that team actually playing well because like they played well in the first 2 games as well, and they just couldn't hold on. But anything else on the defensive side of the ball?
No, I think kind of hit it.
The Double Doink Podcast is sponsored by BetterHelp. Life is hard. It's especially hard when you don't have someone you can open up to. Not everyone is comfortable talking to their friends and family about their personal matters or anything that is bothering them on a day-to-day basis. Mental health is so important to continued success in this world. Therapy is a great way to regroup and get everything off your chest. Insert BetterHelp. BetterHelp is the largest online therapy service, 100% online. They will match you with professional licensed therapists you can trust. You can talk with your therapist however you see fit, via text, phone call, or video chat. BetterHelp has successfully helped over 4 million people worldwide deal with their day-to-day mental health issues. Use the link in the podcast description to get 10% off your first month at BetterHelp. The Double Doink Podcast is officially sponsored by Manscaped. Fresh Ball Fall is upon us, and you need to be in the festive spirit. Light a candle, get some pumpkin spice, and make sure your balls look nice with the sponsors of today's show, Manscaped. Nature may clear the leaves off the trees, but you'll need Manscaped's help to get you ready for the sweater weather. Get your pants puppies prepared for cuffing season with trim as refreshing as a ball breeze by going to manscaped.com and using code DOINK for 20% off everything plus free shipping. It's time for nice flannels and cozy socks, but we can't forget to trim our balls. By now, you've heard of them, but it's time to join the 9 million men worldwide who use Manscaped and get the kit that covers it all, the Performance Package 4.0. It starts with the Lawnmower 4.0 trimmer with advanced skin-safe technology that reduces nicks and cuts to make the raking the leaves a lot less painful. Once you've cleared the driveway, the Performance Package comes in hot with products to cool you down. The Crop Preserver Ball Deodorant and Crop Reviver Ball Spray Toner, one to prevent stink and one to clear it up. With a soothing aloe vera formula, move over pumpkin spice, fresh balls are the smell of the season. The Performance Package 4.0 caps it off with 2 free gifts, the Manscaped Boxers and the Shed Travel Bag. That's one to hold your Manscaped goodies and one to hold your man goodies. Bring in the fall right and get 20% off and free shipping with code DOINK at manscaped.com. That's 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com and use code DOINK. As the leaves fall, make sure you have it all with Manscaped.
All right, offensive side of the ball, the Philadelphia Eagles put up 25 points. Well, 2 of them, I guess, would come on a safety, so 23 points in this game. They dominated the line of scrimmage in this game. I know there's only 23 points, but I think the Eagles' offensive performance was more impressive than just the scoreboard here. 472 total yards of offense. They had 38.55 minutes of time of possession. This mauling guys at the line of scrimmage. The Eagles' offensive line was absolutely spectacular last night.
Yeah, Landon Dickerson especially leading the way. Before he left with a knee contusion, he should be all right, like you said. But yeah, just the offensive line, DeAndre Swift are really in sync right now. And what DeAndre Swift is doing is like these yards before contact stats that are kind of getting a little bit skewed. They're being turned a little bit against DeAndre Swift in terms of like, look how great the offensive line is, more so than what DeAndre Swift is doing. We'll just take a look at what Kenny Gainwell looks like when he's running the ball in close relation to DeAndre Swift. Like, if there was any doubt of who the Eagles running back one is after last week against the Vikings, you saw it in this game because you had a direct comparison 1-to-1 of what it looked like when it was Gainwell running the ball and when it was DeAndre Swift running the ball. We're talking about a difference of how much did
Kenny Gainwell average 3.1
he had around
yards
3.
per
I think it was around 5 yards per carry difference between
was,
Gainwell and Swift.
Exactly 5 yards carry. DeAndre Swift averaged 8.1. Kenneth Gainwell averaged 3.1. Now, a lot of Kenneth Gainwell's runs were on the end of that last drive when the Bucs were obviously looking to stop the run. But in my opinion, it doesn't even matter. DeAndre Swift, just from the eye test alone, like you can clearly tell, is the most juice out of any running back on this team. He's hitting the holes properly. Like he's finding the right spots to run through. He's not like hesitating at the line of scrimmage. And if he is hesitating, he's waiting for a hole to open up. He just looks like a complete back. He looks like a legit number one running back right now. Yeah. And like another impressive night, like you said, 16 carries, 130 yards, 8.1 per pop is ridiculous. DeAndre Swift for the last 2 weeks has been outstanding, 6.93 yards per carry. He's been awesome, and they need to ride him for the rest of the year. Like he's got to get the most touches, like at least 7.
Yeah, he changed the offense, really.
Yeah, really. Like I don't know where they'd be without him over these last 2 weeks because the passing game hasn't been spectacular. We'll get into that in a second.
Not 3-0. That's my thing. That's my guess, at least.
And they got him for a 2025 4th round pick, man. Like for nothing. That's nothing. For a starting running back like this. Yeah. He's now second. You put up a tweet, second in the NFL in rushing yards right now?
Yeah, playing 2 games. Yeah. Behind only Christian McCaffrey for about 40 yards.
And McCaffrey's played, I don't know what his snap counts were in week 3, but he only missed 4 total snaps from in week 1 and 2 combined. He played the entire game in the first game. Like they have been relying on him heavily. Like if DeAndre Swift saw that kind of workload, who knows where his yards would be?
Yeah. Yeah, he obviously you would assume he'd get 40 plus, so though he'd be leading. And I think if he stays healthy, that's a big if with DeAndre Swift. But if he stays healthy and gets this kind of workload on a weekly basis, he could be leading the league in rushing.
Mm-hmm. It's not crazy. Like with the way the Eagles' offensive line is playing and the way they run the football. And the way that teams have to like counter for Devonta Smith and AJ Brown, there's going to be holes to run through. Like it's not crazy to think that he could be the league leading rushing. What was Miles Sanders last year? How high was he in the rankings? Do you know? Like in total rushing yards?
Was he 5th?
2 NFL rushing leaders. Let's find out.
He had a lot of rushes last
Miles Sanders was 1, 2, 3, 4. He was 5th in the NFL last year.
There you go. He also had around 260 attempts.
Yeah, he had 259 rushing attempts.
They worked him that year.
Yeah.
Got him a contract.
But it was actually below the guys in front of him, Saquon Barkley, Nick Chubb, Derrick Henry, and Josh Jacobs. They all had like more attempts than him. But yeah, like the Eagles are never going to have like a strict bell cow running back, but DeAndre Swift is as close as it could be to one with the way that he's playing.
Yeah, the only thing if he doesn't is keeping him as healthy as possible.
Yeah, that's probably why he didn't play at all in the last drive, right? Like they didn't need him to.
Yeah, you'd assume that and kind of try to get Gainwell going a little bit there.
Okay, let's talk about Jalen Hurts, Thomas. So Jalen Hurts in this game, 23-37, 1 passing touchdown, 2 interceptions. He also had 10 carries for 28 yards. and 1 touchdown. So he was over 300 total yards on the day. What did you make of Jalen Hurts' performance?
On that Olamide Zaccheaus touchdown drive, I think he was really good. It was near disaster on both plays. Like the pocket was collapsing to the very, very, very last second, and he almost had a defender knock the ball as he was throwing it. But I guess you can just say that's timely awareness from Hurts in that situation, and got the ball off to Olamide, and then got it off to him a little bit later there as well. I think that was a really good read on that touchdown throw. Seeing where because Zaccheaus was nowhere near around the ball when he released it. That was really good anticipation of where Zaccheaus would end up on that route.
Yeah, if you watch it from the end zone angle, like it doesn't look like there's anything there.
Exactly, and yeah, so that was impressive. And then the touchdown drive they had coming out of the second half, I think he made some good decisions of throwing it down to AJ Brown and to Dallas Goedert to move the chains easily and kind of methodically go down the field on that drive. They get it in with the QB sneak at the end. But other than those 2 drives, I think it was very up and down. Oh wait, and also the last drive, because if you noticed, every single first down conversion on the last drive where the Eagles milked the clock 10 minutes was all Jalen Hurts.
Yeah.
It was either him running or it was him throwing the ball to AJ Brown or whatnot to move the chains there. And that's really a situation where if you could milk the clock 10 minutes on 15 plays and they still had the ball at the end, could have kicked a field goal, could have scored a touchdown there, but they could have kept the ball there for about 16 plays, 17 plays had they had to in that situation. That's top-notch stuff from Hurts, and I think that was a really good way to end the game. That was sheer dominance.
It's such a like I was thinking. I don't think there's any other team in the NFL that can do something like that. We're talking about
that was really absurd. Like that was an absurd drive.
And how many they had? Like 7-8 yards left over before the end zone. Like they could have taken another 3 minutes. Like if, let's say they were trying to score a touchdown, realistically, they could have taken another 3 minutes off the clock. It could have been like a whole quarter drive.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but to go with all that, I also think he made some really boneheaded decisions. I mean, the pass to Jack Stoll when they're in the red zone and they end up getting nothing. I believe. I think that was when they were turned over on downs where he just leads Jack Stoll all the way to the outside into the linebacker, instead of just putting the ball on him. The first interception to Devin White was just horrific.
I don't. Do you think that was Hurts' fault, Swift's fault? I really still don't understand what happened there.
I mean, even like if Swift was supposed to stop and then come back to him, it still wouldn't make sense to throw it straight at the linebacker. You'd lead him to either side, away from the linebacker, that spot. If he was to just come back at that point,
it looked like he just wanted Swift to sit there. But said, even if he didn't
want to sit there, he knows that Devin White is right behind him. So
exactly,
he tried to lean him one way or the other.
Mm-hmm.
Then the deep ball to Devontae Smith, that was just a great play.
I thought that was just a fine throw. Like that.
Yeah, that was just a really athletic throw. And then AJ Brown dropped 2 touchdowns.
And I had him 2+ touchdowns, man. I was so big on an AJ Brown game. Yeah. And I had buddies that were on AJ Brown. It was just it just wasn't happening. He played really well, 9 catches for 131 yards, but the touchdowns were
apparently with stomach bug, and also Jalen Hurts apparently having something before.
Yeah, did you see AJ Brown? He said he ate Talkies last night. And
I have no idea what that is. But
do you know what Talkies are?
It looks disgusting when somebody put up a picture of it on Twitter.
They're like these. I think they're tortilla or corn chips or tortilla chips. I don't know if those are the same thing, but they're tightly wrapped. So they're like circles, so like cylinders. And then they're covered in hot seasoning, and they're different flavors. So there's a blue one. I remember I bought this pack of blue Talkies and I brought them home and me and my mom ate them and our mouths were on fire. We were like, these things are fucked. I don't want to eat these anymore. They're really, really spicy depending on which ones you buy. They're good. I'm not a crazy spice guy, so my spice levels isn't like everyone's, but I don't know if it's the best thing to eat the night before a game. And I think AJ Brown said he learned his lesson.
Yeah, but overall, I think Hurts did okay. He wasn't the reason they won this game again. And I think the heading into the second half, I think it was a little bit of an embarrassment of an offensive performance, given how well the defense was playing.
I thought he played fine. Like I don't think it was outstanding, like you said, and I don't think it was backbreaking, like you also brought up. The Olumide Zaccheaus drive was really impressive, like to be able to get both those throws off. But like you said, it was close to disaster, and I think you can see both sides of it. But I think the most important thing is that he held in the pocket and he got to deliver the ball on both these plays. Like if you kind of go back to even like in 2021 or even maybe even last year, Jalen Hurts, he's probably taking off and running with those balls. Like he's probably not even staying in the pocket making them. So for him to do that, I think was impressive, and he keeping his eyes downfield. I had the Jack Stoll throw written in my notes as well. I want to bring that up. I think that was kind of killed that drive. That was a throw that he had to make. But the two interceptions, like the DeAndre Swift one, it didn't look good, but I still don't know what happened. And you're right, he probably could have let him one way or the other, even if he was supposed to hook there. And then the interception, yeah, like it wasn't. That was just an unbelievable play. I thought that was a fine throw to make in that time. He's now negative EPA per dropback in every single game so far. And he had, I believe it was 9 or 10 games above positive EPA per dropback last season. So we're seeing like it's not fully there yet, but I thought this was his best game so far. He had a really good half last week against the Vikings, but I thought this game was more of a full, complete game. And he just has to continue to get better. If the whole team is playing up to the way they are right now, and Jalen Hurts right now is the biggest issue, I think that's fine because I have so full-blown confidence that Jalen Hurts is going to rebound and figure this out and get back to like his MVP form from last year. There's no doubt in my mind that he's going to do that, and the signs are already starting to come.
Yeah, and also just I think we finally saw a little bit more of the AJ Brown Hurts connection, starting to heat up a little bit here, and at 3-0, that's a good spot to not even have seen the best yet.
So much for that feud, eh? So much for them not liking each other. That lasted
such
long.
a non-story forever. Man.
God, it took 2 plays for that to wear off. The first 2 plays were to AJ Brown, and then it was just like, all right, that was like the biggest waste of time, even focusing on that story. Okay, anything else on the offense? Olumide Zaccheaus coming to life, I thought was pretty cool. Like, hey, the guy, he finally like those are big plays, man. Like those are the game-changing plays that he made. Good for him to get open on both of those. We brought up AJ Brown having a good game. One thing I thought was really interesting, and I'm really happy. I was really happy I saw this morning because we talked about it on the pregame episode. Is the Eagles played a lot more 12 personnel in this game? They played 12 personnel at a 30.8% rate, which is the highest they've done over the first 3 games. 11 personnel, 55.1%, and 13 personnel at 14.1%. They played a ton of 13 personnel on that last drive, where they just have Devonta Smith wide it out, and then they have 3 tight ends. But I thought the 12 personnel really helps in the blocking, in the run blocking game. Jack Stoll looked great again, man. He's a really good blocker on the interior of the line. I know he's not the greatest route runner and pass catcher, but I thought he had a really good game blocking for the Eagles. And I'd like to see more 12 personnel going forward.
Yeah, agree. That worked out well for them. I mean, what they can do out of that, and just the running back, the running game dominance when they have those 2 guys like Jack Stoll and Dallas Goedert on the field along with the offensive line is absurd, man.
Mm-hmm. Okay, one more thing before we go. One more thing before we wrap up the offense. Sorry, the tush push conversation needs to stop, man. I don't get what we're doing anymore. Like it's every single Eagles game that people are complaining on social media about the tush push and how it shouldn't be there.
That's what happens when you're playing prime time.
It's every single week, Thomas. It doesn't matter for prime time. It doesn't matter. It's like
they had 2 primetime games back to back. I mean, it wasn't that big of a deal in week 1, right?
It's so annoying, man.
It'll calm down. They'll get Washington
at
1
sure?
p.m. Yeah, it's gonna calm down a little bit. It has to. I mean, it's basically the weirdest thing about it is that Jalen Hurts has already gotten the yards to gain before he's getting pushed. That's the weird thing about it. Like it hasn't to do with anything of a push. It's just like Eagles already succeeded before he even got there. I mean, before the guys behind him, the one who's supposed to push him, they don't really ever get to push him because he already got what he had to at that point.
They don't need the push. Like Jalen Hurts can get the yards, like you said, without it. 600. No other quarterback squats 600 pounds in the NFL. If you want to be able to do it, get a quarterback like that. And if you want to be able to stop it, don't put yourself in 4th and 3rd and 1 situations, or 1st and goal from the 1. Like, it's your fault that you can't stop it. Other teams have also tried to do it, like we brought up on Twitter, and they can't stop, and they can't do it themselves. Anthony Richardson tried in week 1. The Bears tried with Justin Fields. Like, sorry, your team can't run it. Like, it's so annoying. I hate seeing it on my timeline. It drives me nuts. Like, just give it up already. Stop complaining.
Yeah.
All right. Is there anything else on the game that you want to focus on?
Nope.
Okay, big picture here, Thomas. How you feeling after 3 weeks?
Feeling all right. I mean, 3-0. Only 3 teams in the NFL to be at that point. Like we said a couple of times, they haven't even peaked yet. That's the best part of it.
No, they're 3-0 and haven't played a complete game yet. I don't even think close to a complete game yet.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. I think there's still a lot more for this team to give, and I think we're going to see it soon. I think this next 3 games, I think, are going to be crucial. Like, I think there's a really good chance here where the Eagles are going to be 6-0 heading into the.
I mean, we'll see. I mean, like we said here, the last 21 regular season games the Eagles have played, Jalen Hurts is 20-1. The one loss being against Washington. I mean, Jason Kelce talked about it on his podcast as well. Like, these teams know each other so well, so it's always mind games and hitting the right day when you're playing against Washington.
Did you watch that Bills Commanders game last week?
I mean, Washington were 2-0 heading into it, wasn't it? Sam Howell played well.
Did you watch that game though? Did you?
I mean, it always happens. Like, we can't compare game to game. That's just not how it works in the NFL.
The Commanders gave up 9 sacks and 15 quarterback hits in that game.
I for one wouldn't be surprised if they come out in a divisional game. Eagles don't have a single sack against Washington.
Oh, come on! You're putting that negative energy in the world already.
No, I'm just saying that. I mean, you see Dolphins put up 70 points. They're not going to put up 50 next week again. Yeah. They're not going to put up 50 again the week after. I mean, we've watched enough Eagles divisional games to not get caught up in who played who and then how did that go, and then all that shit goes out the window when you're playing divisional games.
That's fair. Taylor Heineke's also gone. I feel like he's like a boogeyman to the Eagles for some reason. So
yeah, I don't know how about, but I mean, we'll see about Sam Howell. I have no idea about what to expect from him.
Mm-hmm. So they have Commanders, then Rams, then Jets. So who even knows who's starting a quarterback for the Jets at that point?
It'd be so funny with those Carson Wentz.
They signed Trevor Siemian today. I don't know if you saw that. It looks like that's going to be their veteran signing.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, they're a mess, man. It would be jokes if it was Carson Wentz. I'll
be so pissed if I was a Jets fan.
Yeah, I know.
Like,
all summer. You waited all summer for this.
Yeah, and just the sheer, like, just the incompetence of the front office. Like, it's been 3 weeks since Aaron Rodgers tore his Achilles. And they've done nothing. They've said, all right, Zach Wilson is the guy, and he's even worse than he was last year. They just completely just boot him out. Kick him off the team. I mean, take the consequence, take the L on Zach Wilson. That's a whole
and it's annoying. It pisses me off, too, because, like, they keep, like, gaslighting the fan base. Robert Saleh yesterday was like, Zach Wilson's getting better. Everyone can see it. It's like, no, he's not, man. Like, your fans aren't stupid. Like, they know what they're watching right now. So, okay. I think that's it. I've been impressed with the Eagles over the last 2 weeks. I think these are big wins. And 3-0 is not easy in the NFL. There's only 3-0 teams, and they're one of them. They're in the club. They got the invite. They got the secret password to the door, and they're in. So, and with the 49ers and Dolphins, both those teams look darn good as well. So it's a star-studded cast at 3-0 so far.
Yeah.
All right, Thomas, anything else you want to get off your chest?
No, I'm excited to see the all 22 of this game here, of just how dominant the Eagles lines were.
Looking forward to your breakdown. Looking forward to breaking down Commanders Eagles with you, because it looks like Thomas is already picking Washington. He's already got the Commanders yellow one too. So I'm just playing with you. Anyways, let's get out of here. Thanks so much for tuning in, guys. We appreciate it. Make sure you check our sponsors, BetterHelp, Manscaped, and Sweat Taylor. Make sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel if you haven't already. Make sure to subscribe to wherever you listen to your Apple audio podcast. Apple, Spotify, you name it. We are there, and we will talk to you later.